So we are here again at Emirates Stadium for Arsenal versus Lyon in the Women's Champions League tonight. Ramifications-wise, if Arsenal draw or win, they are confirmed group winners with one game to spare. If they do not lose by 5 goals or more, they are definitely through to the quarterfinals. So they should get through to the quarterfinals tonight, albeit they're playing the reigning European champions, Lyon. And if anyone's going to beat you by 5 goals, it's probably going to be Lyon. But when the teams met back in October in France, it was Arsenal who won 5 goals to 1, and that's why they're in such a commanding position in this group. So psychologically, if you were to take it on its own, probably quite a strange position for Arsenal to be in. Lyon really need to win tonight. Arsenal just need to not lose by 5 goals. However, I think Arsenal, what they'll really want to do, they'll really consider that first result against Lyon as a marker in the Champions League, and Arsenal have really needed to lay down a marker in the Champions League. They haven't been beyond the quarterfinals in many years now, and what they'll really want to do is they'll want to prove that that result in Lyon back in October was not a one-off by any means whatsoever, and they'll be looking tonight to at least get a result that will confirm them as group winners, so that when they go to Zurich next week, that there won't really be anything kind of lying on that game. I don't necessarily think Arsenal will take a reserve team to that game, whatever happens tonight, but I think really what Arsenal want is to not hang on to that result that happened in October. They do not want that to be considered a one-off. What they want is to be considered a big team in Europe, and a big part of that is going to be getting the result they need here tonight, winning or drawing, and topping the Champions League group, which will be quite an achievement for them to do, particularly with one game to spare. But anyway, it's -6 degrees out here, as you can see on the ground around me. So let's go inside, shall we? So it's Arsenal versus Lyon here at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal, of course, who won the reverse fixture 5-1 in October, but I think this is going to be a very different Lyon team to the team that Arsenal faced in October. They've got some key players back, and obviously they really need some points, whereas Arsenal, they need a point to top the group tonight, confirm with the game left. If they avoid a 5-goal defeat or greater, they will definitely be through to the quarterfinals, but I think Arsenal will want to do a little bit more than that, so let's see how they go. So we're halfway through the first half here at Emirates Stadium, and it's still Arsenal 0, Lyon 0. I think what we're obliged to call in the industry an intriguing tactical battle, which is to say that not an awful lot has happened, certainly in front of goal, but if you want a kind of tactical comment, I'd say that Lyon look marginally more like the team that really has to win this game, which I think makes quite a lot of sense, because that's the situation. Lyon's press very high, and sometimes it's difficult for Arsenal to escape that, but when they do, there's plenty of space in behind. So it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse here. Lyon with a good high press, but if Arsenal can break that press and get in behind with quick early diagonals, then there is space in behind that Lyon defence, and you feel like the first goal is either going to come from Lyon's high press, or it's going to come from Arsenal playing over the top of it. But still 0-0 for now. So Lyon take the lead. Slightly controversially, it has to be said, Arsenal did have a warning a couple of minutes ago. Steph Catley made a brilliant block in her own 6-yard area. But Lyon have taken the lead from a set piece. A couple of headers in the area. Mallard miles offside, competed for a header, came off free to Maanum and went into the net. Really don't understand how offside's not given. Mallard competes for the ball when she's a good 2 or 3 yards offside. Arsenal have a lot of grievance, I think, with that goal. However, they did have a warning, and it's a bad time to concede. Right on half-time, Lyon lead here, 1-0. So half-time, it's 1-0 to Lyon, and a game where not a lot happened for 45 minutes, really. A game of kind of tactical cat and mouse, where Lyon pressing quite high but not causing Arsenal a lot of problems. Arsenal were looking to go over the top of the Lyon press, but likewise not causing Lyon a lot of problems. Pretty uneventful first half until stoppage time, 3 minutes of stoppage time, and it's difficult to imagine a worse period of stoppage time, really. First of all, Arsenal went behind to a Lyon goal. I believe it's going to go down as a free to Maanum own goal. Quite embarrassing refereeing, actually, for the goal, if you'll forgive my biases, which I lay on the table. Melvin Mallard was about 3 yards offside, inside the 6-yard box, competes for a header. Frida Maanum has to deal with it, puts it in her own net. Really don't understand why there's no offside flag there, don't know what the assistant referee's doing. Nevertheless, kind of griping aside, Arsenal are 1-0 down, and then perhaps even worse than that, well, I think definitely even worse than that, Vivianne Miedema goes down, and it really doesn't look good. Quite frankly, at this stage, obviously it's just happened, so I know very little other than that Viv was in tears and her left leg was immediately put in a brace. It wasn't a contact injury either, and I think most of us who watch women's football quite regularly, we usually know what that means, unfortunately. We'll have to see if we get better news than that on Viv, but unfortunately at this stage, I mean, she looks like she knows what's happened because she's in tears, her leg's put in a brace, and that's probably the worst thing that happened in the half, even leaving aside Lyon's quite offside goal. 1-0 Lyon at half-time here. So it's the beginning of the second half and Arsenal have made a tactical change. Obviously Vivianne Miedema has had to come off, Rafaeli has come on in her place and Leah Williamson has pushed forward into midfield. So that's the kind of tactical change, which given that Jordan Nobbs and Mana Iwabuchi are on the bench, it's not a like for like, but I almost think that what kind of matters more here is Arsenal's psychological response, because they took 2 big blows within about 30 seconds of one another at the end of that half. And so for me, it's a question of how Arsenal psychologically respond in this half to going behind and to losing Vivianne Miedema to injury. So we're halfway through the second half here now. It's still Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. Good response from Arsenal in the second half, it has to be said. They've created some good opportunities. Obviously, I think everyone's still a little bit down in the dumps about, well, certainly the crowd anyway, about what happened in the last couple of minutes of that first half. But good response from Arsenal so far, but it really does feel like the next goal is so important, because if Lyon get it, it's a long way back. However, Arsenal only need a draw to be confirmed group winners tonight, so if they can get it to 1-1, would be a fantastic result for Arsenal. So it really kind of feels like next goal wins here. He's waving Zinsberger forward. What can I say? Life sucks.